He just scored the most important free kick American soccer has seen in over 3 decades. And he did it with a bloody sock. Yeah, you heard that right, while playing down a man. In the World Cup knockout stage. If you don't know who Malik Tillman is yet, you're about to. Because this guy went from a quiet kid nobody was talking about to the reason the USMNT is still alive at this World Cup. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll understand why his own teammates are calling him an animal, and why that's actually hilarious if you know anything about him. The quiet kid. Let's start here because it matters. Malik Tillman does not talk, like at all. His own brother says you could stand next to him for hours and not get a word out of him. In Germany, they have a saying for people like this: you have to pull it out of his nose. That's Tillman. He grew up in Bavaria, Germany, raised mostly by his mom after his American dad, a U.S. serviceman, wasn't always around. Quiet household, quiet kid, loud talent. In theory, a guy that reserved gets overlooked. In practice, that's exactly what almost happened. The Bayern Munich detour. Tillman came up through Bayern Munich's academy. That's the biggest club in Germany. Think of it like getting drafted #1 overall, except you're 15. He made it all the way to the first team. 7 appearances, some trophies. But here's where it gets interesting. Bayern is basically a graveyard for young talent. So many good players get buried on the bench there because the first team is stacked with superstars. Tillman needed something Bayern couldn't give him: minutes, the loan tour. So he left. First stop, Rangers in Scotland. He didn't just play there, he dominated. 12 goals, 5 assists, and he won Young Player of the Year in the entire league. Then PSV in the Netherlands, same story. 2 league titles in a row, double-digit goals. This sounds simple. It isn't. Bouncing club to club, country to country, proving yourself over and over. That breaks most players mentally. Tillman just kept scoring. You know the type. Never says much, just keeps putting up numbers until you can't ignore him anymore. The family choice that mattered. Here's a detail people forget. Tillman is German and American, dual citizen. He could have played for Germany, one of the best national teams on the planet. Instead, he picked the USA. That's not a small decision. That's choosing the underdog over the powerhouse. And honestly, that choice is a huge part of why American soccer fans have adopted him so fast. He didn't have to be here. He wanted to be. The Leverkusen stumble. Now, not everything's been a fairy tale. Last summer, he made a big money move to Bayer Leverkusen, one of Germany's top clubs, brought in to basically replace a star player. It didn't go great. He lost his starting spot, barely played toward the end of the season. If this were a movie, this is the part where the hero looks washed up before the comeback, and that's basically what happened next. The Pochettino reposition. Here's the twist nobody saw coming. USMNT coach Mauricio Pochettino moved Tillman to a different position, pushed him back into a deeper midfield role, and suddenly everything clicked. He's not just creating anymore. He's pressing, defending, linking play, doing the dirty work too. His own captain literally told him mid-game, "I don't know what happened to you, but you're an animal out there." That's the power of the right role. Sometimes talent isn't the problem. Fit is. The bloody sock moment. And this brings us to the moment everyone's talking about. USA versus Bosnia. World Cup knockout round. Teams down a man after a controversial red card. Tension is insane. Then Tillman gets stepped on hard enough that they have to cut his boot off his foot. New shoe on, still bleeding through his sock. Minutes later, free kick right outside the box. He steps up, calm as ever, because apparently the guy trains free kicks using brainwave tracking tech in every single practice, and he buries it. First American free kick goal at a World Cup in over 30 years. Game over. USA moves on. Why this matters. Here's the bigger picture. American soccer has been chasing this exact moment for decades. A homegrown feeling star who shows up on the world's biggest stage and just delivers. Tillman isn't flashy. He isn't loud. He's not selling you a personality. He's just quietly become one of the most important players on this roster, right when the team needed him most. So, let's loop back. Remember that bloody sock? That's Malik Tillman in one image. Getting hurt, saying nothing, and still delivering when it counts most. The quiet guy just became the guy. And with USA facing Belgium next, the real question is this: has American soccer finally found its guy for the next decade? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe. There's a lot more of these World Cup stories coming.